To start off this video by saying I am not ashamed. I am not ashamed. I'm not upset. None of that. This was all a test to see how I would perform, the state of mind, the whole 9 yards. All practice on not even my actual performance, but practicing on my discipline. That's that was this trade today. I didn't care about the money, although the money did kind of influence me. It did influence me, but that wasn't my focus. I traded this stock here. Going to get into why I traded it. So it was one of the biggest percent gainers on the day. It was like roughly like 50% on a day or something like that. Well, yeah, you can see right here. This is where I got in roughly. It was up around 50-60%. And I rode the wave. I got in pre-market because well, let me say what happened in this trade. I was up 1,300 and some change, and I didn't take the gains based off of what I saw in the SEC filings. And I got in because of what I saw on the float tracker. So I didn't take gains because I wanted to test these levels to see was my theory correct. I didn't need to not take gains or wait this long, but I wanted it to be fully in the trade, fully immersed into it, not kind of like feeling like Gritani right now. But I wanted to be fully immersed in this trade, not taking gains and then waiting to see what happens to be like to test my theory. It's kind of a different experience when you're in it and you're testing your theory. So I started off. I saw it on a big percent gainer. I saw that it was moving. It looked like it was moving pretty nicely. Looked at the float checker. Saw that it was ranging from 600K float to roughly what's the highest one here? 6.6 million. Then I looked into the dilution tracker. Excuse me. And looked at the well, I have to subscribe to see the actual information, but I get a little bit of information. So as of Wednesday, October 4th, this is their price. They have a outstanding at 0.83, which is comparing to the float checker, and they have a dilution of this much, fully diluted. So that told me they're gonna dilute. I had to figure out what price they're gonna dilute at. So this company has negative 1.4 months in cash left, so they're in debt, and they burn 2 million a quarter, and they currently have negative 9.9 million. So they're in debt. They need cash. Then this is their estimated dollar amount, which you can see the chart here. Then I started looking at the warrants. None of these are registered, so I didn't care about it. Not registered, not registered, not registered, not registered, not registered, and then right here. They have a warrant outstanding from this price, exercise price, which is way too high. But when they do splits, the numbers change. I don't know if this has been updated, or in order to get it updated, see, last updated date, you got to be part of the subscription, which is like $588 for the year. I haven't paid for it yet, but when I start trading live, I'll pay for it, or just use somebody's account, really. And then they had registered warrants, registered convertible notes right here at 450, and then $10, which I wasn't worried about the $10, so I wasn't gonna hold for $10. Right here, I'm like, okay, I want to sell before it hits 450. and then nothing registered here. So 450 was my, excuse me, my target goal. Um, when I looked at the 6 months chart, you could tell it hit 450 somewhere right here. So this is after February. So what I was thinking, like, that it was already active, but I wasn't 100% sure. And because I don't have the because I don't have the I don't know why it's showing me a line. Give me 1 second. Because I don't have the subscription, I can't really verify it. So as of February, it's saying that it was already like active, but either it was already active or because they did a split here, the price changed and now it's at $4. I wasn't sure. So I'm playing it and I'm like, okay, it's a 50-50 chance. I'm not sure, but I think it has to hit 450. Or maybe excuse me. So because it had that split, when you split, the numbers change because everything's getting changed. The price, everything's getting changed. So I'm like, most likely it has to hit 450. I played it on that. Plus the float was low, so I'm like, okay, I got in pre-market because I'm like, if I don't, it's not gonna pull back. It's not gonna do a dip with a low ass float. It's just gonna start spiking straight out the gate. So I got in up $24, down a little bit, then down a couple hundred. Then it's market open. It started spiking out the gate as I thought. Up here, I was up like, I think 5%. I mean, 5% to 10% roughly. Pulled back. Um, then it spiked right here. I was up 1,300 and some change. It was a great trade. I wasn't wrong for playing it, and I wasn't wrong for holding. It was just, I was like, okay, I came into this trade not, and I told myself not the money. My goal is to focus on discipline, being disciplined, and then I had a better opportunity. So I already knew I wanted to sell here. I already wanted to sell here, but when market opened, I'm like, okay, maybe I should give it some time and let it spike. I let it spike. I was ready to sell, but what changed my theory, which I can't change the plan, but what I ended up realizing, there's something more that I can learn from this trade, and that was testing it to see if it would hit these points. Not because I wanted to make more money, but because I wanted to learn and understand. So when I did so, when I did so, um, I began to test these levels and to see what it would do. And when I realized, okay, it may or may not, I kept holding. I'm not upset with myself. I'm not beating myself up. I was talking about it in the Wolf chat right here. Um, I made a couple statements like, you know, uh, it was getting soaked. Um, it was getting soaked. Then I was like, it's a possibility that it might go to 450 because of February convertible notes notes registered, but right now it's not looking too good. Somebody said, yeah, there's warrants at 250 unregistered. And I'm like, Tanner said unregistered. I'm like, yeah, I was thinking so. Um, yeah, I wanted to sell right before, and it's just I kept talking about it. You can pause the video and read, go back and read what I said as I scroll down. Um, you'll be able to see what I said. Just gonna go through this real slowly. Just put the volume or the speed to low. so you can review it. But yeah, I was just talking and I was just talking and yeah, and we were just talking about how I need to improve and stuff like that. But yeah, I didn't want to sell here because I was testing it, and I'm glad that I tested. I could have sold sooner, but I was like, I still want to test it. I don't want to be just, oh, I made my gains. I'm gonna watch it, sit back and watch it, and kind of like do other stuff. No, I want to give my full and undivided attention to this trade. Um, I ended up breaking even at $65. I'm glad I broke even instead of taking a loss, but it doesn't even matter. All in all, this was a great trade. I had the right idea. I played it. I could have sold it and still learned, but I wanted to be fully in it. And this is a great lesson. I made over. I was up over what, 5%. 10% is 500. So I was up over what, 25% on one trade, because 1,000 is 20%, and then like I was up an extra 300, so I was up an extra 2.5%. So I was up a good amount, and um, so it was like I had the right idea. I saw a lot of soaking here too, which is good. I saw soaking right here. Um, when market open, it soaked up and then it pushed back down and started perking up. I saw soaking right here. When it pulled back right here, I saw soaking. I saw a massive soak right here, and it pushed up. So, um, as I was typing out my messages, I was like looking to get soaked. And then when I typed in my second message, when I was like, "Oh, it might continue going up," um, I was typing up my other message, and then I went back to watch it, and then it started spiking, and then I went back and finished typing it out that it wasn't looking good now. But in the end of the day, I think I did pretty well. I'm really grateful, and I'm glad to make this video lesson. I hope Ismail Alonso does like a live recording of this so I can watch it perform all over again. But I honestly think it might perk up here and start bouncing. I won't be in it for that, but I'll be watching. But great lesson,